Jimmie Boatwright and three of his four brothers went to Boys Ranch from Amarillo in 1966. Their mother took them out in '68 when their oldest brother, Garland Haley, was killed in action in Vietnam. After a summer away from the ranch, Jimmie appealed to Mr. Patterson to get back in, and he returned for his junior year. He found BR to be somewhat better than the outside world, as we called it back then. During his years at the ranch, Jimmie was involved in laying the groundwork for a life that has led to this recognition today. He was active in sports, taking second in state in wrestling one year and participating in rodeo and football. He was a rodeo clown his junior and senior years. Jimmie was a first-class junior staff and was most active in the ag program. He learned a lot about livestock while at BR, and it has served him well throughout his life. Jimmie speaks very gratefully of what he received at Boys Ranch. He talks about reading stories of Cal Farley. It fascinated him. He was fascinated by his activities and his service and his helping kids. Jimmie said, "When I look back, Cal Farley's influence defines my life. I learned to never give up on anything. Learn from your mistakes and move on. I'm so grateful to the ranch for the many reasons." Jimmie said, "I feel like I hit the lottery as a youngster, and am forever grateful to Cal Farley's Boys Ranch and to the staff that gave me a shirt tail to hang to." After graduation in 1970, Jimmie attended Clarendon College in West Texas State for 2 years. He dropped out of college and got his real estate license. Had a couple of marriages that didn't work out until he, as he put it, he finally landed the right lady, Laura. They had both been recently divorced, and they met on a blind date in Amarillo. When the two families combined in '77, they were like the Brady Bunch: John, Dennis, Sherry, and Mary John. Jimmie had a job. I have to say that because most who know Jimmie know of a multitude of activities in which he has been involved. They know of the livestock and the stock shows, the working with kids and the family. But he actually did have a job. I say did because in 2014 he retired after 20 years of driving a train for BNSF Railroad. Jimmie rarely talks about work because it was always a means to an end, and the end was what was important. The job provided opportunity for the family and for the service to others. It was not what identified him. As Jimmie put it, "I'm retired in theory, but busy from sunup to sundown. I raise livestock, farm, and ranch, and do many family activities." First and foremost for Jimmie has been his family. He and Laura were partners in all they did, mostly in raising their children, supporting them in their activities, and in being grandparents. Jimmie didn't get a college degree himself. His mother couldn't even read and write. But he makes a point to note all of his children are college graduates. One man commented, "Jimmie loves his family and is awfully proud of each and every one of them. If you don't believe it, just ask him. But fair warning, you better have plenty of extra time because you're going to be listening for a while." One of his daughters said, "My dad is the nicest, kindest man in the world. He would give you the shirt off his back if you needed it. My dad loves everyone, and everyone loves him." He's esteemed highly by his children and his grandchildren, of which he has 10. An important part of his involvement with them is helping with their own livestock projects. Jimmie has made a point of leading and being actively involved in the lives of his children and grandchildren, whether it was coaching the girls' basketball team or showing them how to give a Berkshire a haircut. He is always, as one person put it, he goes about his tasks of helping others with quiet solitude, offering a gentle nudge here or wherever help he is needed, but never condescendingly or reproachfully. Family was preeminent, but they were not the only subject of his service and devotion. Jimmie expressed not just a desire, but a commitment to serving others. It is extremely easy to find lives positively touched by Jimmie Boatwright, inasmuch as that has been his objective, helping and serving others. There are many people who jumped at the chance to speak well of him and his influence in their lives. Here are a few comments. Jimmie is selfless, giving, and has a passion for youth. He is a devoted family man and an example of honesty, respect, and values to his grandkids and other kids in the community. One said, "Although I did not personally know Cal Farley, there is no doubt that Jimmie has the same philosophy as Cal, namely working to provide an opportunity to youth that otherwise would never have had the chance to experience, while teaching life skills that will ultimately have a huge impact on their lives." Another said, "Watching Jimmie Boatwright interact and share with others is a real treat. Jimmie is selfless in his willingness to teach and share with others. He is always there to assist and has contributed to the success of the 4-H program for decades. His openness to help is a breath of fresh air. He's a team player with high morals and values. He represents working hard to accomplish goals, and he values teaching youth responsibility, community, and leadership. In a time where selfish individualism is the norm, it is a pleasure to see Jimmie continue to share the life lessons with youth that are so important. It's a pleasure to work with Jimmie Boatwright. Jimmie's passion is kids and pigs. He spent countless hours and drove thousands of miles traveling to 4-H'ers' homes to check on their projects. While Jimmie is talented and experienced in swine production, his real talent lies in his love and compassion for kids, especially those that need a little extra help. Jimmie enjoys a statewide reputation as a good hog man, but his legacy will lie in the countless lives he has touched. Danny Nusser, the Randall County Extension agent, said Boatwright has logged more than 2,500 hours of service as a leader and a role model for 4-H'ers and parents in Randall County, and has assisted more than 500 4-H'ers and their families through weekly project visits. And this was 10 years ago when he was still working full-time. Another said Jimmie is a quiet man by nature, but he is all heart and effort when it comes to working with young kids. Youth are not only attracted to him, but also respect him. Jimmie is a role model to young people. He is calm, even-tempered, does not use profanity, yet he is fun. Jimmie's work and leadership has resulted in many 4-H'ers winning local and state awards, along with tens of thousands of dollars in scholarships and prize money. Over the years, I have witnessed him work with underserved youth and make a huge difference in their lives. He continues to wear that shirt that young people hang on to. Jimmie Boatwright's selfless service is an inspiration and model for all of us that know him. Jimmie's willingness to help all 4-H'ers, regardless of background, socioeconomic situation, or ability, is what makes him a special leader. Jimmie has received some recognition for his leadership and service, particularly in the 4-H and swine industry. Having provided over 25 years of leadership to the Randall County 4-H program, he has received the Friends of 4-H Award in 2004, Outstanding 4-H Master Swine Volunteer Award in 2005, the Texas 4-H Salute to Excellence Award in 2006, and the Farmer Schaefer Award in 2013. With all of his accolades and awards, Jimmie says, "My most significant accomplishment is being part of the Alumni Association, seeing it grow from where it was in the mid-70s to when I first got involved in it to where it is now. One of my goals of the future never changes. I will work and donate time and money to Cal Farley's Boys Ranch Alumni Association." The Alumni Association was chartered in 1972. Jimmie got involved in the very early years. And as with everything he is passionate about, he got involved whole hog. He served as president of the Alumni Association in the early 80s. He is an emerald and diamond level legacy partner, actually surpassing any levels we have been able to come up with. His significant financial contributions were doubled as he has made the association the object of his employer's matching contribution program. Jimmie has promoted and funded additional Cal Farley's and alumni support initiatives, including the Bereavement Support Program, support for participants in the Boys Ranch Agriculture Program, sponsoring the association's annual meeting for this, the 4th year. But far beyond his financial support, by which we have all benefited, Jimmie has been a voice of encouragement and consistency, being a positive influence in difficult times. He has promoted a healthy relationship between Cal Farley's and the Alumni Association, and was instrumental in the currently very supportive relationship we have with each other. Jimmie is currently serving on the Cal Farley's Boys Ranch Alumni Association Board of Directors, now as Vice President. He is on the Development Committee and is Chairman of the Executive Committee. Few, if any other, have distinguished themselves to service and support of Cal Farley's Alumni Association in the manner of Jimmie Boatwright. It is a fitting tribute to recognize Jimmie Boatwright as the Cal Farley's Boys Ranch Alumni Association Distinguished Alumni for 2016.